Another video on clarifying stocks. So I've clarified stocks before. We have used egg whites and meat. We have used egg whites and onions to clear stocks, which was kind of interesting experiment. And then I was trying to clarify some pomegranate liqueur with powdered eggshells, and it didn't work. I don't know why. Maybe I should do more research on things before I just have a go. But where'd the fun be in that? You know what I mean? Rather than much more fun to do rather than to read. Anyway, so I was kind of thinking. I made some stock, some chicken stock. It's a little bit murky. It doesn't need to be crystal clear for what I use it for. So I'm not that bothered that it's not crystal clear. I'm not that much of a perfectionist that it needs to be crystal clear. It's clear. All the fat's removed, all the sediment's removed. It tastes nice. It's good enough for me for what I'm going to use it for. But I kind of thought, I've got some powdered eggshells left, which is just the eggshells which have been dried in the onion and then put in the spice grinders to grind them into a powder. So I've got some stock heating up. That's just the jar of what it looks like as like a control. So that's what it looks like before. If we manage to get it a little bit clearer, we'll be able to see, because I'll put it back into a jar and we'll be able to do them side by side. So up to temperature, and then I can't decide if I'm going to just put the eggshells in, give it a whisk around, see what happens, or if I'm going to let it put the eggshells in and then let it cool down and see if anything happens that way. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. I haven't just fully decided. But we'll get this up to temperature. As always, you know, much more fun just to have a go. Yeah, so the eggshells are powdered, which is, I'm sure they use powdered eggshells to, or eggshells to clarify wine. But anyway, so let's just have a go. I mean, it's the reason the stock is cloudy, it's not because I boiled it when I made the stock. It's because I disturbed it too much when I was straining the stock. So I agitated the stock a little bit too much, and then the impurities in the bones and the meat and the fat that were in there emulsified into the stock, therefore making it a bit cloudy. But as I said, I'm not that bothered. Well, what kind of temperature we're at? A little bit hotter. Tastes nice. Tastes really nice, actually. It was a mixture of not supposed to do this, but I boiled the chicken bones for a second time. Not boiled, but I simmered the chicken bones to make a second chicken stock. And then it's also the stock from I rendered the chicken skin and the chicken fat, and it was the liquid that came out of that as well. So it made like a particularly nice stock. It's not bad, you know. I'm not going to win any awards for it. So let's have a go. Not that much. It might just turn it cloudy. It might pick out that sediment. Doesn't look any different. Anymore. Bring it up to temperature and see what happens. Doesn't look any different, but that might just be because of the powdered eggshell. I don't know if my colander's thin enough to pick out all those bits of eggshell. Because most of it's been powdered. I don't think that'll be thin enough. But we'll have a go. We can always put it through a bit of kitchen paper or a J cloth or something like that. That looks alright. It looks like we're getting something rising to the surface, which normally happens with when you're clarifying stocks. You get a raft of protein which sits on top of the stock, and that's it collects all the impurities. Shouldn't really boil it, I don't think. We'll see how we go. We'll also taste it as well, see if it is looking a little bit clearer. See if it affects the flavour. Right. Don't want to boil it anymore because I don't want to boil in the impurities in the egg whites. So obviously, not the egg whites, the egg shells. There's going to be impurities, so we've actually added impurities into it. So we need to kind of strain those bits out because they will have, to some degree, will be water soluble or stock soluble. So do I strain it or do I leave it? Don't know. How much we've got left? Can always have another go. Can always have another go. So let's strain it. It doesn't look any different at the moment. It doesn't look any different at the moment. Oh, it's in different containers. We're getting the small particles of eggshell that have gone through the sieve have gone down to the bottom of the measuring jug. I wonder if I don't want to let it stand because then we're going to have to remelt it. I know what we'll do. We'll get rid of that there. I don't think this is going to work. But if we don't have a go, we never know. So a couple of layers of kitchen paper. I mean, the stock has, I've strained it through fine sieves, and then I've also strained it through cloth as well. So the stock has already got as much of the solid particles out of it as possible. It won't be just as fine as some kitchen paper, but straining through kitchen paper is not going to make that much difference. All the kitchen paper is going to do is just collect any of those solid bits of eggshell. I said it right this time. That are mixed in with the stock that passed through the sieve. This is just, like most things, do out of my own curiosity. And why use egg? If you can get away with using eggshells instead of egg whites to clear a stock, why wouldn't you? It's generally how I feel about things. I don't, the eggshells go on compost, but if we can use them for another purpose, that's even better. And if we can use them for another purpose and then put them on the compost, even better still. See, as you can see, maybe you can't see, but in the bottom of there, we've got quite a bit of the eggshell that passed through the sieve. So it's not looking that much clearer. But we'll see. We'll let it strain through there, and then I'll pour it back into the jar, and then it's the same thickness. The jars will be the same, so looking through the jug at the stock will give a different impression of the opacity. That's not a word. The clarity. That's a better word. I was thinking of opaque. The clarity of the stock. So yeah, so looking through something that's thicker would give it a misrepresentation of how clarified how clear it was. But anyway, so we'll let that go through, and I'll pour the cleared stock back into the same type of jar as that one, and then we'll have a look at it. Well, I don't think there's any difference there. Maybe a small amount of difference, but that's probably down to the fact that that one's still liquid and that one's solid. So that doesn't work. It doesn't matter. You never know unless you find out. Well, it might have worked a slight little bit, but difficult to kind of tell when we're under indoor lighting. So it might have worked a little bit, but not enough to warrant doing it on a regular basis. So there we go. Not everything ever works, but if we don't try, we never know.